The sociological imagination. The sociological imagination is a concept founded by C. Wright Mills. We'll talk about C. Wright Mills again when we focus on the power elite, those people who have a very large income, a very large social network, and lots of power. The idea here is that in order to critically understand what is happening in society, sometimes we have to use our imaginations, because every group in society has a different way that they understand things, a way that they see and understand the world. That may be based upon the community that you grow up in. It may be based upon the parenting style that was used with you as a child. It may be based upon your sexuality. It may be based upon your gender. It may be based upon the amount of money that you have. All of these different things impact how you see the world and how you feel things. So I know for a fact that in this class, you may have to use your sociological imagination, because I may tell you about something and you may not be able to relate to what it is that I'm talking about, because it's not a part of your lived experience. So I may ask you to touch and feel and be creative about how you're listening to what it is that I have to say, so that you can actually relate. In order to do that, you may have to put some of your ideas behind you and be willing to be open and ready to experience this class in the way that I need you to experience it. So I'm going to ask you to sometimes do hand gestures like action, right? Sometimes I'm going to ask you to say a word, like everybody say sociology.
Sociology.
You have to at least know where you are, sociology class, right? Or I may have you to do an exercise like we're going to do right now. Everybody sit on the edge of your seat. Not so that the seat leans over and you fall down, because we don't need that. Spread your legs. You know your boundaries, so spread your legs. It's okay. Come on, do it. Get at the edge of your seat and spread your legs. To the point where now I want you to get on your tippy toes. So spread your legs wide enough so that you can feel the pressure from being on your toes. And you should feel this pressure in your calves. Do you feel pressure in your calves? If you don't feel pressure in your calves, feel pressure in your calves now. So lean forward to the point where you can feel pressure in your calf, on your toes, and in your back. Put both of your hands on your kneecaps and press really hard on your kneecaps so you can feel extra pressure on your tiptoes. Okay? Now, I want you to keep that pressure and put your arms out a little bit so that you still feel pressure in the top of your thigh area. And now I want you to put your hands out, your fingertips out, and press really hard and make them really wide so that it feels like there's weight. It feels like something's on your back. So at this point, if you're on your tiptoes and you're squeezing your hand out and you're leaning your body forward, it should feel like something's leaning on your back. Right now you're carrying a little baby. You're carrying a little baby on your back, and it's getting really heavy right now because you can feel your calves shaking. Now lean up for me. Now I want you to, we're not done. Now I want you to take your hands and put your hands up in the air. You should still be sort of on the edge, because when you make a muscle like this, you make a muscle, make a muscle. If you make a muscle, you should feel pressure in your arms like you're lifting something. So make it feel really heavy in your arms. And now hold your hand up like this. And I want you to reach up as if you're holding on to a helmet and touch the helmet. There's a helmet and you feel it. You can touch it. You can feel the solid form of the helmet on top of your head. Now I want you to put your hands to your head as if your hands are the actual padding inside the helmet, and the helmet is too small. So squeeze your head and feel this tight padding on your head from the helmet, squeezing your head. Okay. I'm sweating. Why did I have you do that? Can you make the connection? I wanted you to try to feel something that was not there.
Oh.
I wanted you to feel it. I wanted you to feel it. I wanted you to feel it in your bones, feel it in your arms, feel it in your body. I want you to try to see what something feels like if it isn't actually happening to you. If it isn't actually real. I want to be able to tell you a story, and I want you to be able to put yourself in position where you can try to understand and try to feel for somebody else. I want you to try to feel the experience in a way that someone else is feeling the experience. But you're not that person. And you've never gone through what they've gone through. But I want you to make an effort to be here with me, trying to learn this information the way it's being delivered. Try to take it in. Try to place it in the right context. Try to experience whatever is happening in this class so that if you are that person 15 years from now, your mind will remember the class where you talked about that information because you were trying to own it. You were trying to own this information in a way that private experiences and personal difficulties and achievement, right, you're able to reflect. You're able to reflect on that. You can learn from this class. You can learn from experiences that you haven't had yet. You can learn from trying to understand what's going on around the world so that you can place your own experiences in that context so that you can help other people, so that you can try to be empathetic, try to care. I'm not telling you to believe in it, though. I'm not really telling you to care. I'm just telling you to participate. Participate just enough so that if your body wants to care, you can. That's the sociological imagination. Very abstract, sort of crazy, and I'm sweating.
It's not crazy. Then again, I'm an artist. So it's not crazy, but then again, I'm an artist, so we're always a little crazy.
The question that we begin to ask and deliver an answer for is, what is sociology? What is it? Well, I tell you what it is not. It's not English, it's not history, and it's not journalism. But in fact, it is its own discipline where there's something that you have to actually do to prove that this literature is sociology. So when you're reading something, you should be able to say, oh, that's English, right? That's literature. That's a story, right? That someone's written. That's history, because it's in chronological order. And it's explaining and describing these experiences as they happen over time. This is journalism. This is someone's opinion that they're writing down that where they're going to tell you about something. But what, in fact, is sociology? What components do you have to have for something to be considered sociological? I'll talk to you about that. First, you need research. You need research. Next, you need an approach. Are you going to tell a story that explains and describes what's just going on, the happenings? Or are you trying to change something? Are you going to tell a story that's about change? So are you just going to explain and describe these events? Is that your method? Is that your approach? Or are you going to tell us a story to help us change our minds about how we see the world? I'll get you. Next. Patterns. Everybody say pattern.
Pattern.
Say it again.
Pattern.
Say it really, really big.
Patterns.
That was excellent. You need a pattern. So we have to show relationships and how patterns exist in society. That makes us have sociology. We have research, not journalism, where we've spoken to different people and we've talked to them about what it is that we want to find out. So it's not just one person you're looking at. You're looking at an entire community of some type. And you're trying to gather information from that community. Then, are you going to just tell us what's going on? Are you going to explain and describe the patterns that are going on between these people? Or are you giving us this information because you see that something's going wrong in society? There's a problem. There's a problem, and in order to solve this problem, I need I need to collect information, and I need to show you. I need to show you what's going on in the world. I need to show you what is happening. What are the challenges that we're experiencing? I want to show you that through patterns. I want to give you that. Then we can decide what we want to do with it, and that's what makes sociology so interdisciplinary. Because we can help out people in politics, right? So if you want to come up with a new law, a new procedure, you need information. You need research. You need to know why this information is necessary. Why in the world do we need to have this particular law? What are the challenges? What are the problems? We want to use applied sociology, right? So that we can figure out what those challenges are. What about religion? Sometimes sociologists explain and describe the critical elements, the patterns that exist in their religion, because they want to show you, this is who Jehovah's Witness people are. This is what we do, right? And this is what a Baptist community might do. So we want to compare and contrast these two religions so that you understand these are the principles and these are the processes that we follow based upon this scripture, you understand. These are our patterns in what we do. And then here's this other religion that uses the exact same Bible but has a total different way of understanding it and processing the ideas. Sometimes we just want to give a basic understanding. I'm not trying to get you to change your religion. But what I do want you to do is understand that the way I see the world and the way I interact as a Jehovah's Witness is going to be distinct from the way this other person may interact as a person following the Baptist. So sociology can be used in lots of different disciplines for different reasons. And then there are theories. There are theories. Theories have something called hypotheses. And let me help you understand that really quick. This is just what is Sociology 101, right? I love giving this example. All right. We're going to do a theory about he's cheating. Is he cheating or not? So we're going to come up with a theory, for cheating. But in order to have a theory for cheating, somebody can't just have one hypothesis. You have to have a series of hypotheses to help us come to the conclusion that he's cheating, or she's cheating, or they're cheating, whomever, So here it goes. So she's, every day you are coming home and you're washing the clothes, not because you have to, but because you got home first. And all of a sudden, you notice this smell on your partner's clothing. And this smell is not your smell. It could be perfume, or it can just be a smell that is not yours. And you keep noticing that smell on different items of clothing.
Victoria's Secret love spell.
I don't know.
That's my stuff right there.
That's the first hypothesis. There's a weird smell, and it's not mine. Is the partner cheating?
They hug a lot of people,
Yeah, maybe some folks at the office, maybe they have some type of hand soap or something in the bathroom, and it's winter time. Your hands get a little crusty. Your partner, they don't really. My hands are ashy. I just need something for my hands, So maybe they're just going and they're just using the stuff, All right, yeah. Used to have this really great communication with your partner. You all would call each other in the middle of the day just to see how each other are doing. You don't really want anything, but you just want to say hi, I was thinking about you and just wanted to tell you that I hope you have a super-de-duper day, And so you make the phone call, but after the first ring, it goes to voicemail.
Oh, snap.
Denied.
Using a meme.
Yeah. You got a whole list over there.
You know.
Gotta look at
Have you used these
And so You try to make the phone call again. This time, it rings 3 times, 4 times, and then it goes directly to voicemail.
Fell off a nightstand.
So you leave a message. Hey, boo-boo. Just calling to see how things are going. Tried to call last time, but it went to voicemail. You must be having a super busy day. Love you. So this goes on for about 3 weeks. Now, if this is just going on, maybe there's a busy time. There's a really busy time. But now, as you're washing clothes, you start to smell a smell that's not your smell. So now you're washing clothes and there's a smell that's not unique to you. You're trying to make the hey boo-boo phone call and you're getting the voicemail. And you know, if you get the voicemail after the first ring, what does that mean?
Hung up on.
They denied you. They're in call. Yeah. If it doesn't go directly, if it goes directly to voicemail, the phone's dead. If it goes just on and on to voicemail, maybe they don't hear the phone or whatever, or they just let it go to voicemail. But if it rings one time and then goes directly to voicemail, they press the end call button. So now, at 3 weeks, every time you call, it goes to voicemail after 1 ring. In the past, you had this wonderful form of communication with your partner, just wonderful. You know, you would chit-chat with your partner, and you all could talk about anything. Religion, politics, sexuality. You know, you could talk about all the hot topics. You all would never fuss each other. You wouldn't argue with each other. You know, you would look to each other for support. But now, you can say hello to your partner. Hi. No. You know, they got an attitude, you know. You say, oh, honey, your hair is looking good today. Why didn't it look good yesterday? Didn't my hair look good yesterday? You didn't see my hair yesterday? Were you blind yesterday? Were you blinded by that smell on your collar? Yesterday? I'm not washing clothes anymore. Kick the basket. So, are they cheating? We have 3 hypotheses for our theory. If you had just one hypothesis that, you know, there's a smell on the clothes, maybe the theory wouldn't be validated, you understand? Because if you looked at patterns of behavior and you did interviews, you know, on a series of people, and, you know, the finding there's a smell on the clothes, maybe 50%. Maybe 50% of the people would say, oh, there's a smell on the clothes. Turns out that, you know, there was some type of new product that they were using, or there was someone in the office that was a hugger. Someone in the office is a hugger, and they wear 50 squirts of cologne or perfume. And every time you walk in the office, they say, oh, hi, Jeannie. Gotcha. You know. And then for the rest of the day, you have the cologne smell on you, and you can't get it off. Because they, you know, they squirted themselves up, you know. So, again, you understand where I'm coming from. Sociologists use theory, okay? And the major theories typically have 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 10 hypotheses, where you put all of those together, and that makes the theory to explain and describe whatever it is that they're talking about. And the thing that is so crucial about theory with sociology is that sociology is primarily based upon these theories, you know. It's all about understanding how this theorist explains whatever this condition is. What is this condition, and how is this theorist putting together these different hypotheses to figure out what is going on in the world. So you all may get a little frustrated when I start saying, oh, Karl Marx said this, Max Weber said this, Emile Durkheim said this, you know, W.E.B. Du Bois said this, you know, Jane Addams said this, Harriet Martineau said this. You know, it's not really about Harriet Martineau. It's not really about W.E.B. Du Bois. It's about the sociological imagination. It's about you understanding the hypotheses within the theory and connecting that hypothesis to the way you see the world. Yes, I want you to be able to connect the ideology, that is the viewpoint, I want you to be able to connect, say ideology.
Ideology.
I didn't even have to ask you to say it 3 times. I want you to understand what they're talking about. And I want you to take that information and use it. Because if you use it, then this class is going to be great for you. You're going to be like, oh man, now I'm changing this. I'm thinking critically about that. I've developed my relationship with these 4 people. All of these things can be useful for you. But if you get caught up in the name of the theorist and that type of thing, then you spoil the whole class for yourself, So, but really, I want you to use your sociological imagination to understand how these theories can be valuable for your personal lived experiences. So you understand theory? You understand what a hypothesis is? You understand how theory fits into sociology. It fits into sociology because that sociologists, even if they have hypotheses, they still have to do research, right? They still have to talk to a series of people. And even when they're doing their research, when they have their research question, they have to decide, am I just going to give a basic idea? Am I just going to explain, like we talked about with the religion? Am I just going to explain things so that you understand? Or am I trying to create some type of social change, sociology of action? That's called applied sociology. Applied sociology. Think about that. Applied action, change. Basic, telling a story, like the distinctions between different religious types. Tell a story, basic. Action, changed, apply. Theory is based upon an ideology, a worldview, an understanding, a thought process about something. So each theorist has a particular ideology that they want to deliver. And they want you to see the world in that particular way. They want to give you a blueprint. This is a blueprint for cheating. Honey, if this is happening to you, these 3 things, you need to find somebody else, right? You need to find yourself something else to do. If you see these things happening, but for some reason, you're not changing your situation, then maybe you need to step back and think about whether you love yourself or not. So you see something happening, but you don't want to do anything about it. Now we have to figure out what the problem is, right? That's when we have to evaluate. You have to evaluate yourself. So we're going to talk about some things in the class. We're going to pose theories. But if you can see reality, but you still make choices that align with something that you don't believe in, that's when you start having to do some type of self-evaluation. That's when I want you to start doing critical thinking here. Because you have to understand, why am I making these choices? Why am I making these choices if I know that there are strong theories and at least 15 hypotheses that apply to this that help me understand why this particular idea is valid? Why do I keep making bad choices if I have all the hypotheses to help me understand why this is not right? Why I shouldn't do this? Do I need to change some theories that are applied? They're going to help you to change. Because they're going to say, here's a recipe for what you can do to stop doing this. But if it's just basic research in sociology, it's not going to give you a recipe. It's going to give you a whole bunch of information, and then you're going to sit back like this. My mother's been teaching me this all my life, and now I just took this class, and I just learned something that's totally different. I don't even know how to handle this. I don't even know what to do. Sometimes you're going to leave this class like that. You're going to leave this class feeling like you're up against the wall, like, what? Or I'm going to give you some information that you didn't know, and then as soon as I give you that information, your head's going to do something crazy. You know why? Because your mind works like a building block. You have things, this is social psychology, you have things in your head that you learned when you were 3 years old. You understand? It may not be right here, though. But when somebody talks about something, and they go, you ever like, did that strike a nerve? Have you ever heard somebody say that? If something strikes a nerve, then you can all of a sudden, something that happened to you when you were 8 years old can pop right up into your head during this class while we're talking about something. And it'll make you say, whoa. Whoa. And then if you use your sociological imagination, if you're not too afraid, you might start making other connections. Some of you, you don't have any control over that. The question was asked last time. What do you do if you can't control how you think? Or you can't control how all of these things are happening? Everybody in here is different. That's called social learning. Social learning theory. The whole idea that you can be in a certain context and something can be happening and you have no control over whether your body takes that in or not. Be careful who you're around. I love to give the example. A song came out by singer Kelly Rowland, and it was on the radio. Baby, I'ma be a motivation.
Oh, man.
Every day, every second, every time I got in the car. Baby, I'ma be a motivation. Baby, I'ma be a motivation. I'm like, oh, I hate this song. Tomorrow, baby, I'ma be a motivation.
Shout out Beyonce music DJ play that to me.
I'm in the shower the next night. Baby, I'ma be a motivation. Baby, I'ma be a motivation. I'm combing my daughter's hair. Baby, I'ma be a motivation. But I didn't like the song. I didn't like the song, but because I was present with the song entered into my toolbox of knowledge, and unconsciously, it became a part of my interaction. I'm going to give you another example. I have a good friend. My friend clap stump laughs. And puff, yeah. Anything could happen. We could be at a restaurant where people are supposed to be quiet. And something will happen and she'll go, So, I was in a business meeting. And someone walked into the meeting and they tripped over a chair and fell. You know what I did, right?
You clap, stomp, laugh.
You know what I did. Would anybody like to show the class what I did? Nobody? I know someone wants to do it. I'm in a business meeting. I clapped, stomp, laughed. That person fell into that chair. And the professional side of me would never do that. But I had just hung out with my friend for an hour before I went to the meeting. And I tried to stop myself, but it was too late. I had already clapped, stump, laughed at my colleague who fell as they walked into the meeting late. And guess what happened after that? Several other people clapped, stump, laughed. Because sometimes you can learn something unconsciously, and given who you are in whatever setting, other people might follow your behavior.
Clap, stump, laugh.
Clap, stump, laugh.
Somebody gonna do it anymore.
Right. That's what I did. So, social learning. So, tell me what you know now about social learning.
It's contagious.
Mm-hmm. What else?
It's humorous.
Maybe.
Involuntary.
It's involuntary.
So
These are things that happen in society. Sometimes we can control ourselves, and sometimes you got to be really careful who you keep yourself around. The company you keep. Not because you want to be discriminatory, but because you want to be protective of yourself to make sure that you're making the choices that are going to be productive and efficient and healthy for your life. But if you don't pay attention to the people who you're around, you may find yourself modeling some of the conduct and behavior unconsciously. One more example for the road. One more on this, okay? I had a friend who was a liar. You know what that is, right?
Compulsive.
Compulsive. Will lie to you about anything. What did you eat for dinner yesterday? Spaghetti? Where'd you get it from?
McDonald's.
Exactly. Lie about anything. And, you think that, you're an honest person, you tell the truth all the time, if you're hanging around that friend and they keep telling you these lie-like stories all the time, and they keep explaining to you, you have a rich relationship. This is how they lied about something, and this is the story that they gave, and this is how they interpreted the story, and this is how this happened. Do you know this person is teaching you how to lie? Do you know this person is teaching you how to lie? As you listen to stories, as you understand what is happening in a relationship with somebody, that person is educating you. They're showing you how to do something. That means they're putting it in your toolbox of knowledge. So when your boss asks you, hey, how's that annual report going? And in your head, you say, what report? But out of your mouth, you say, it's going great, man. And then you go, what is this annual report? What is this? You have a copy of that? Because the people around you, they lie so much that somehow, in an involuntary way, you start following suit. Now, you all may think I'm silly or crazy, but now that we've talked about this using 3 different examples, now when you go home, you'll pay attention to what the people around you are doing, and you'll see if those people impact how you behave and how you act. Your nonverbal communication, meaning walks, facial expressions, hand movements, styles of clothing, colors, sunglasses, sweater styles, jacket styles. All of these little things, symbolic characteristics. Everybody say symbolic?
Symbolic.
There's a theory that we'll focus on called symbolic interactionism, right? How symbols can change who you are. I remember there was a guy went to high school with me, and boy did he go from ashy to classy once he got to college. You know what ashy to classy is, right? Ashy to classy. But sometimes you have to invest, am I ashy? Not ashy with your, skin, but do you have what society has interpreted as being style, charisma, Do you have pizzazz? Do you have the love potion on? You're wearing the love potion. You walk in the room and somebody says, whoa. Does that happen when somebody looks at you? So this guy, he went from, is he here, to, whoa. I can't focus. Can't move. I can't stop looking. I'm just still looking. I can't change my face. I can't breathe. Damn! Yeah, And how did this happen? He began to hang around someone who had a certain style, and he kind of, just by hanging out, something, that's cool, that's nice. Well, why is it necessary to do this? Or why do you wear that? And someone says to him, listen, in life, there are a few major areas that you want to be concerned with, You want to be concerned with status, right? How much respect people have for you, and how much respect you have for yourself. So you want to carry yourself in a way that you respect others and other people are glad to be around you because what you say makes people feel good, and how you handle yourself or carry yourself, it makes people feel comfortable, it makes people feel safe. makes people feel happy, like they want to be around you, so you have a certain deal of respect. Then, money. You want to figure out what you're going to do in life so that you can earn an income. So you want to come up with some type of career, or you want to come up with some type of path that you want to follow so that you can stabilize yourself, so that you can make sure that you earn whatever living you need to earn so that you can eat, so that you can, get back and forth to work or drive wherever you have to go, so that you can have a home that's safe without mold and moisture everywhere where you get, lead poisoning and asbestos issues and you die, You don't want to have that. So you want to figure out how you can maintain that and get that. You understand? And then, who you know. Your political affiliation. The people you know. Your social network. You want to have a series of people who you can rely on and who depend on you so that you don't have to do as much work. Anybody here want to run in place and do all this work every day, or you want a social network so that you can do what you're responsible for and then work with other people so that you can move forward? So there are these three things. Status and respect, generating some type of income through group affiliation and trying to, have a job and things like that and move forward, and then knowing the right set of people so that somebody has your back, so that you can have somebody's back, and so that you're aligning with something that makes sense, ideas that make sense. If you think critically about all three of those spaces, then you're working toward being a comprehensively successful person. Anybody here, raise your hand if you want people to hate you. That's your goal. My goal is to have as many people hate me as humanly possible. I do that by being an asshole. That's my job. Anybody here? You don't want to say anything because nobody else raised your hand. But here's the thing. That may very well be who you are. That's what I mean by thinking about the hypotheses and thinking critically, I just gave you a set of hypotheses, right, in a theory. The theory is by a guy named Max Weber. You just learned something. You just learned an entire theoretical analysis. I'm not going to tell you that again, because if I say it again, then you might forget what I just said. Because you want to connect the reality to your life. And most of you don't want to know who said it, right? Max Weber, that's his name. So we have a connection here. And so if you're being nasty to people, disrespecting people, causing people stress and strain, but at the same time, you're telling me that your goal is not to be an idiot, then what's the problem? What is the problem? If you're behaving in a way that turns everybody around you off on a regular basis, but you want to be a comprehensively successful person, then what is it that you're doing wrong? What's the problem? Get it together. Get it right. Change your attitude. Change your attitude not for the people around you, not because you don't want to be a jerk. Change your attitude because you want to be successful. Do it for yourself. You don't have to do it for anybody around here. You can do something just for yourself and it can have a positive impact on everybody around you. Be selfish. Do it for yourself. Change your attitude for yourself so that you can win. But if you continue to be nasty, then it's going to impact your ability to be socially mobile. Being socially mobile means that you can move up the ladder of power, right? And you can become more powerful as an individual. And it doesn't have to be powerful with money. You can be powerful with everybody around you. You can have more love. You can have more respect. You can generate more income just because you have a better attitude. Some people aren't going to want to give you the job because your attitude stinks. It doesn't matter if you get straight A's in all your classes. If you have a crappy attitude, you have just ruined one of the components of success. Max Weber. What's his name?
Max
Weber.
Weber. It's actually spelled with a W because he's German. So it's W-E-B-E-R. Looks like Weber, but it's Weber. Max Weber. Max Weber is giving us this detail, this critical detail. And what did I do here? I just applied something, okay? Max Weber introduces basic sociology. He's telling us a story. He's telling us that the perfect set of coordinated interests deal with status or respect, income, right? Social standing, And politics, a party, the affiliation, the people who you're around, who you know. Who you know. Who you know is your social capital. Social capital. How you gain something because of social relationships. Who you know and who you can communicate with can change the amount of power that you have in your life. If some of you know the right person, you will get the job. Don't just go to school so that you can go in your class and study and leave. Get to know your teachers so you can get a letter of recommendation from somebody who knows what they're doing. Introduce yourself to other classmates. Oh, you want to be an introvert, huh? You don't want to meet anybody during your entire college experience? Guess what? You're going to leave. And what's his name? Max who?
Weber.
What?
Weber.
Max Weber tells us that if you want a perfect set of coordinated interests, by the time you leave college, you better have a political interest. You better know somebody. You better know somebody who knows what you know. So if you're in criminal justice, you better know some other criminal justice folks because you want to find out where they got their internship. Where are you going for your internship? Do they have any other internships? What did you learn from that? Did you meet any people? Oh, well, guess what? Now I'm going to get a job because my buddy Johnny introduced me to somebody at this particular organization. And you know what? I didn't have to do all the work by myself because I had a political interest, right? I had a social network. My social capital got me a job. And guess what? There were 20,000 other people applying who had a 4.0. But because I knew somebody, I got the job. So don't just be a one-trick pony. Treat people kindly and with respect. Give due respect to yourself. Think critically about your plan. You know, how are you going to generate your income? What is the path that you're going to take? What type of job are you going to have? What does that job mean for you? Is that job going to make you happy? Or are you just doing it because your parents told you to do it? Is it what you're passionate about? Is it something that's going to help you to grow and help you be the person that you want to be? Because if you have a crappy job that you don't want to do, how are you going to be nice to people and how are you going to be yourself and glow? If you're doing something you hate, doing something you don't want to do, that's going to impact your status, isn't it? Because you're walking around looking like you sucked a lemon all day at a job that you hate. Who's going to want to be around you? Because you got the funk. You're walking around with the funk, man. And when you have the funk, you're going to pass that funk on to other people. You pass it on to other people. Negative energy carries along, other negative energy. You'll find that you think about your friends. Here we go. No, she isn't trying to teach me something else, right? You think about who your friends are. You think about the friend that only calls you when something bad is happening. And you try to figure out why this person is always calling you with their negative mess. Why are they always calling me with the drama? They don't call Tracy. What's it going on? What's about you? And they keep calling you. Do you have the solutions or do you got the funk? Do you keep the funk going? If you want to call me with a problem, you call me for a solution. Don't call me to help you swim in your drama because I need to move on. I can't sit here soaking all day about your problem. We need to find solutions so that we can move forward and have a healthy day. Don't try to bring me down with your mess. I need to grow. I need to have a positive attitude so that when I walk out of my house and I'm interacting with other people, I smile at my neighbor and say, "Have a nice day. How you doing?" I'm not looking like this. This dude just punched my friend in the face. I'm going to go kill him. Ask me questions. Comments. What do you have? We're going to talk about class today. Anything about class today.
I was about to say, when people call you a drama, they may just want to hear your voice because your spirit can make them happy. Your spirit can just help them have a better day.
But that's something to think about, right? You're able to assess that. I'm asking the entire class to think about these types of things. Who are you interacting with and how do those people make you feel? How do you make the people feel who are around you? How does your interaction impact the world around you? Does it help people grow or does it make somebody else fall to the ground? And if it makes them fall to the ground, are you doing that on purpose? Are you doing it because you're a hater and you want to see somebody else lose? Or are you doing it because there's something going on in your heart that you need to focus on? Rather than putting somebody else down, you need to figure out what's going on with yourself and figure out how you can address that issue so that everybody can grow. Because if someone's talking to you and you're giving them that negative backlash and making them feel bad just because you're in a funk, then is that the right thing to do? Do you want to deliver that type of information when you're interacting with somebody else? This is all Weberian theory. I'm just throwing it out there. This is Weber. We're doing that right now.
He's a beast.
Yeah, we're doing that. Weber's good. It's rich, you know. Behind all the large vocabulary words and concepts, you know, you can really apply it. You can make it work. When you read Weber in your book, when you're reading whatever language the book has about Weber, I want you to remember what we're talking about right here. Remember this as you're reading, and you'll say, oh, okay, I see what he's talking about when he's talking about social capital, and I understand, you know, about social networks, and I understand the value of income, and I understand how money can make people act funny, how money can change personalities. We talked about that. Remember the guy that went from ashy to classy? You know, got out of high school, got a job, got money. The money changed his style, his clothing. He got with a different set of people, and those people showed him something different, right? They showed him a different way to carry himself, which changed his status, which changed the aura, changed it from to a whoa, you know. All of those things happen because of that perfect set of interests that can occur as you all move forward in life. Don't think that after you get out of college and you get a job, don't think that your life isn't going to change. Not because you personally alter something either. It can change because people change their perception. They see different things in you. They're analyzing all of these different things. Money can change you, even if you don't want it to. An outfit can change you. An outfit can change what people think of you. If I come in this classroom with pajamas on, like I just came from exit 12 Walmart, are you going to respect what I have to say in this classroom? Is that outfit going to change your understanding of the words that are coming out of my mouth? So, in sociology, they say that change is non-homogeneous and constant. Let me explain to you what that means. If there's a culture and it's homogeneous, that means that all the people in that area are similar. They wear similar clothing, or they look the same, or, you know, something about them is very similar. But they say that change is non-homogeneous, which means that every person in this classroom is going to experience change at a different pace, right? And over time, at different, you know, on different levels. So some people will change like this, and some people change like this. Very slowly. Because everybody in here has a different personality. You all have a different reality of life. You all grew up in different families, different communities. You all have different religious or spiritual beliefs. You all have different incomes, which sometimes drive what you have access to seeing and understanding, you know, because maybe if you didn't have the money, you didn't have internet access, you couldn't learn or know things that other people may know, or you don't have the social network, you know, the connection across income to be able to understand the world in different ways. You understand? So every time you see something with your naked eye, you're seeing it at the stage that you're in life. So as we move through this class, hopefully if you're using your sociological imagination, you will grow, because you will be integrating these different things that we're talking about into whatever you already know. But the question becomes, how do people change? Well, you try, and you have to want to, but even if you want to change so very badly, even if this man or woman wants to stop smoking cigarettes, everybody in here has a different personality type. Addictive, non-addictive, you understand? a different community of people who you're around. Maybe everybody in your house smokes cigarettes. A different a set of responsibilities. So maybe, for whatever reason, you may have to do very stressful things. Those very stressful things may urge you to want to smoke a cigarette. So everybody here has all these different life situations that they go through. And even if you want with all your might to use a sociological imagination every second, every day, it's going to depend on the other things that are happening around you on a regular basis and on your history. Because through your history and through this new information, a chemical reaction occurs. And what I call that is you can't get your egg back. Let's do that exercise right now. We need to make brownies. You help me out? You get me a brownie pan?
Okay.
Using your sociological imagination.
I'll take it on.
Brownie mix,
I'll get the
please.
Walmart.
Can you get me 1 egg for fudgy brownies, please? Or who's gonna get it? You gonna get? I need her to get the egg for the fudgy brownie. You can get me the water, maybe. And can you grab me vegetable oil, please? All right. So raise your hand. I need the pan. Who has the pan? Okay. Thank you. Who has a spoon of some type and a bowl? Can you get the bowl?
Yeah.
What about you get me a spoon? All right. I have my pan now. Who has the vegetable oil? All right, here. Now, the way I threw that pan, it just hit you in the head. So, okay, here. All right, can you grease that pan for me, please? Who has my bowl? Well, who has the brownie mix? Throw me brownie mix. Thank you. All right, here's that. Can you open that? Can you open that up and can you pour that into the bowl? Who has the spoon? Need a spoon? All right, there you go. Can you launch that over to the person who has the vegetable oil? Maybe slide it across the counter. All right. Who has vegetable oil? Okay. Can you put the vegetable oil, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil into the bowl, please? Okay. Be careful because the spoon is in there, so you don't want to pour it on the spoon. Can you stir it up? All right. Can you pass that over to the person who has the egg? Who has the egg? Yeah, can you crack the egg, please? That's how you crack the egg. The egg is all over the table now. That's messed up, man. All right. So crack the egg. Can you slide that down to her, please? Okay. Put the egg in, please. Stir it up. Water. Who's water? All right. Get that from her. Get the water. All right. Who has my pan? You have the pan?
I gave it back to you.
Oh yeah. I threw it in. Oh, you have the pan. I threw the pan to you. Give me the pan back. Thank you. All right, there you go. The pan. All right, can you take the bowl? Can you give him the bowl? All right, can you stir it up the way you stir brownies? Because, when you stir brownies, you can't do it like, no. But stir it up. Okay. All right, can you pour it in the pan, please? All right, okay, thank you. I'll take it. There you go. So it's even. All right. Somebody, you got to put the oven on. The oven is what all right, put it in the oven. Then at my house, we have the music in the kitchen. So. Okay. So we get it out. And then
I want my egg back.
She wants her egg back. We just made brownies. And we stirred everything up, put everything together, put it in the oven, and now she wants a raw egg back in her hand. Well, guess what? Once you get information, once you're given information, and that information becomes a part of your toolbox, that information then begins in your brain to interconnect with all of these different ideas and all of these different things that you know. So once your boyfriend tells you that he cheated on you, it's hard for you to love him in the same way because you can't have your egg back. Once you learn something, once you gather that information, once you make the connections, we can't go back and say, no, take that out, throw that in the garbage. knowledge. That's why history is so important, you understand? Even when we start to talk about things like, oh yeah, you all know I'm black, right? Just gotta throw that out there. I know it's tough because, I have all these clothes on. And you can't really see me, because I'm all covered up. But I am African American.
What's never guessed?
I know, it's such a challenge, it's so difficult. But anyway, even when we talk about race relations, you understand, when we talk about race relations, there's a history with regards to race relations. Even if certain people are told that you should treat a certain group of people in this particular way in the 1950s, if you tell people in 1965, don't do that anymore, it's not right, they still have all of these experiences and all of these ideas that are still there somewhere. Maybe not out in the open where you can touch it and feel it, but a chemical reaction has occurred over time. And we have to figure out how to deal with life after somebody says, don't do that anymore. Or, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. It was a mistake. I learned from my mistake. Now I apologize. Can we please move forward? You can't get your whole egg back after something happens. So every single thing that we talk about, everything we understand based upon history, it's all interconnected in what we say and what we do and how we see the world. That's why change, right, is non-homogeneous, which means that it's not the same. And it happens all the time. It's constant. Change is constantly happening, but at a different pace, because you can't have your egg back. Every time someone teaches you something, you have that information there in your head. Now, whether you do something about it, or whether you can actively do something about it, or whether something is holding you back, or whether you don't have the personal control over yourself to make a change, some people are motivated, some people are not. The reality is that even though people don't use that sociological imagination every second, every day, you can't get your whole egg back. That information is still there. Maybe for some of you, it takes a critical lecture. Maybe something has to happen to your friend. Maybe the information has to come directly from your mother, or directly from your father. Or maybe you have to see lots of people die for you to make a change. Maybe somebody has to punch you in your face. Maybe someone has to hurt you really, really, really bad. Some of you, you can tolerate pain, lots of pain. So you'll be friends with somebody for 15 years. You'll let them burn your house down. You'll let them steal your money. You'll let them cheat, have a relationship with your spouse. And you'll still be their friend because you can tolerate that. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. So, will people in this class use a sociological imagination during our next class? I may get 3 of you. Maybe 4. Will somebody use their sociological imagination throughout the semester? Sometimes if you have a bad day and you come in here, you may not be able to leave it outside. Maybe you'll only listen to half of what I say because of your life, because of what's going on. So all I want you all to do is to write down notes if you can. Try to come in here and give the best that you can. Understand the theories. Understand how those theories relate to life. Know what sociology is and know where we're going with it, and try to get an A in this class. Everybody can't use their sociological imagination, but everybody can try. You can try. Thank you for doing that silly mess with the brownies and stuff, and I know it was difficult for some of you, but I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.